breaking news that has a lot of teams licking their chops. Uh, Juan Soto, who is under control through 2025, is been news has come out, and it's from Ken Rosenthal. So
It's legit.
it's legit. It's reported on the Athletic that the because his value will never be higher because you do just have arbitration years ahead of you, so you have control of him still. That they're looking to trade Juan Soto, and
There's actually a lot of reasons.
yeah, go ahead.
It's speculated they definitely leaked. The Nationals actually leaked this information out there because they want to get the trade rumors going, get this thing, all these negotiations started because we're I think 15 days away from the trade deadline as we're recording this. So they tried to give him almost a $500 million in a contract extension, which he rejected. Rumored that they realize at that point they're not going to be able to sign him long term. There's another mitigating factor with the Nationals going on, and they're in the process of trying to sell the team. The Lerners family, whatever their names are, I don't know the principals, but the Lerner family are trying to get this Soto situation resolved before they sell the team. And the logic behind that is, any new owner isn't gonna want to be saddled with, you start your ownership regime,
Negotiating a contract, right?
well, or knowing that you're the ones going to be blamed for losing Juan Soto.
Well, that too, yeah, true. Either
Essentially
way, yeah.
a 23-year-old Ted Williams to be, potentially one of the greatest hitters we may ever see, considering the numbers he's put up already in his career, and he still has 15, maybe 15 more years to do these. I mean, that's why people are comparing him to Miguel Cabrera, Hank Aaron. I think the best comparison I saw was to Ted Williams, which that tells you all you need to know about what Juan Soto is. He's already got a World Series ring. He wants to get paid, and he wants to play for a great organization that's going to win him more championships, and he's not seeing that. He clearly, if he turned down $500 million from the Nationals, it's obvious he doesn't want to be there. So the speculation is ramped up that they will want to trade him sooner than later.
Yeah, and I think one of the issues is, I think it worked out that the average annual value of that contract was $29.5 million, which, I could live off of that. But I think I think he looks at it from it as it really boils down for a lot of these players. It's like a respect level, right? So if this guy's getting 35 million on an annual basis, then that's at the bare minimum, that's what I should be getting because I'm at that level or better. And
to your point, I saw another detail that came out today. I think it may have been Heyman, actually.
Hyman,
yes. They were referenced, he and his agent, Scott Boras, who you may or may not have heard of. They looked at Max Scherzer's $43 million a year deal as the baseline. And they wanted $43 million a year is what he wanted. And, the years would be the where things get made up. Apparently the Nationals were willing to do that, but for only 3 years. And he turned that down. So that would have been I think that's the identical to the Max Scherzer contract. 3 years, 43 million per. So that's the stratosphere that he's playing in, and what he wants out of his next contract. So that may have also been he just wants nothing to do with the Nationals anymore.
But I could see that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're amongst the worst teams in baseball.
And they, part of the reason behind that is they are saddled with, I mean, they gave speaking of Max Scherzer, they gave him a $15 million check just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
he gets three $15 million payments over the next 3 years. Wow. And that gets put against, the average annual value of whatever's left, whatever
goes on the luxury tax,
goes against that luxury tax. So
threshold.
Even it's not like the deferred contract goes away, right? It's not like
Right.
it's not counting against what you have to worry about when putting your team together. And they have a lot of those. They
Well,
have a shit ton of those.
they are in a bad spot, so it's obvious the Nationals are going to do whatever they can to maximize this asset they have in their hands at a perfect time to be trading him if your franchise is going nowhere and he doesn't not want to be there, and you need to give the new ownership group, potential group, firm footing. But they're going to want to have make a trade that rebuilds their franchise.
I'm willing to give it to him. I have it right here.
All right. Well, this has led to speculation across all of Major League Baseball. I've seen it on a national scale. I've seen it with my Tigers, even local Detroit Sports Talk Radio. We're talking about it this morning, what the Tigers could possibly do. I won't bore you with those details because I don't think that's ever got a chance in hell.
We do that in a couple nights.
You tweeted out, you tweeted out a potential White Sox matchup that they could offer to the Nationals that could eventually land you Juan Soto. So
yeah, and I'm even not even really at this point. I'm not concerned, and maybe I'm approaching this wrong. I'm not concerned about the extension of the contract at this point. I'm concerned about having him on my team for the next 3 years.
That's what's interesting, because you guys are definitely in your winning window. So
right.
Yes, you're not as concerned. I mean, I'm sure you'd like to figure out a way to keep him long-term as well, but since you do have the 2.5 year window with him under control, that fits right into your winning window, at least. So the White Sox are uniquely positioned in that regard. Teams like Detroit, which are, no one nationally is talking about him being a possibility to go to Detroit, but it just came up here. It might make a little more sense if the Tigers could sign him long term. So that's an important point to bring up. But you guys have been mentioned amongst, at least today I saw on The Athletic, they had 10 different candidates that could be suitors for the services of Juan Soto, and your White Sox definitely came up.
And I'm willing, and this can go whatever. I'm not going to present something that is we got to win the trade thing or whatever. You win the trade by getting Juan Soto on your team in your window.
Mm-hmm.
We need a right fielder. He's a left-handed fucking power bat. Is it a more? Is it a better? So what do you do?
Yeah. The question is, what do you give up that doesn't ruin the rest of your team to do so?
But if this is your window, are you though? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's that great yin and yang, but I think they have to go for it. I'm saying you really give. I'm willing to give the Washington Nationals a reboot. I'm willing to give them, this is my initial, Berger, Sheets, Crochet, Cespedes, or Montgomery.
See, I think it sounds big on the surface, but I want you to think of this from the Nationals' perspective, and with the idea that there are other teams that have a far deeper farm system and will have the potential. You're not actually not negotiating with the Nationals. You're negotiating against 10 other teams potentially.
True.
So your offer has to be better than those. So, and I saw this in this Athletic article I mentioned. They're starting off a similar package, but you would replace Sheets and Berger with Eloy and Andrew Vaughn, and that's where it started. That's what the Nationals would ask for.
I'm fine with sending Jimenez.
Well, and that's yeah. I think I could see how Sox fans, just with the injury history, the potential for having Juan Soto, you could part with Eloy, but Vaughn would hurt. I guess my whole point of this is, I think your initial package is a little painful. It's not nearly painful enough. And
okay, yeah, no, I got you.
This trade is going to hurt whatever team. It has to. It has to make it hurt to get Juan Soto. I mean, you have to give up a lot.
I see what you're saying. Like they're going to want.
They want Vaughn. Vaughn is in the package, and that is so tough to deal with. Anybody, it's so
well. Here's the problem with Vaughn.
Burger and Sheets
Vaughn,
doesn't hurt you at all. So
Vaughn, he does a little bit. He's helped us
minor.
win over these.
Not
And
Juan Soto hurt.
He's a left-handed power bat that he's replacing Juan Soto essentially.
I guess my point is the realistic part. Yeah,
I'm fucking around.
The realistic part of your proposal is Montgomery for sure. They're definitely going to want Montgomery. Cespedes, maybe. I've seen Colas.
Yeah, I mean, he was a futures game, went 1 for 2. I mean, that. But the question for Washington though is they're going to want, and I understand the Vaughn or the Jimenez and things like that because they're going to want someone they can just throw out on the field now, which was part of my Burger and Sheets thing because I mean their third baseman is horseshit. I was looking at their team, but I agree with you. You're right. I mean, maybe and Crochet I think is
that
huge
hurts.
though.
Yeah, that absolutely.
That hurts, and that's big for them. That's them almost getting revenge on sending over Lucas Giolito to us and Ronaldo Lopez in a way.
Well, and that's the other part of this that is interesting because there's the prior relationship that you've dealt with them before and have done well in those trades. So
yeah. But I get it. I'm not gonna sit here. Here's my problem. Here's my struggle with Vaughn. Yeah. My struggle with Vaughn is looks like he's definitely the real deal. Mm-hmm. We know we've got him controlled. Here's the deal for the White Sox. They couldn't let Vaughn go and not sign Soto because then it's a loss.
Yeah, then it gets interesting.
And that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah. So
the deal I proposed, you could let. So this is the deal I proposed. My deal consists of not enough probably to get him. But if he doesn't sign in 2025, you're okay.
Well, I'll play the role of the Nationals in these negotiations. So I'm asking for
you're Mike Rizzo.
Yeah, I'm turning down Yes, I'm turning down Sheets and Berger, and I'm replacing those with Eloy and Vaughn. And that might be too much for you.
You gotta be bleeping me.
That's where I think your point about making sure you can sign them long term is a big deal, But let's say that proposal doesn't work for you just in general. You're not going to have a guarantee that you can sign them. The other one that the Athletic proposed, which I thought was really interesting in a totally different way. And again, these hurt. I mean, if I am Mike Rizzo, I'm making this hurt for you to be able to take Juan Soto off my hands. You got to give me Dylan Cease and Luis Robert.
No fucking way.
Well, and there's the question.
That one's definitely no fucking way because they are why we're even at 40. They're part of the reason we're at 46 and 46.
But you see why that would be the ask.
I get it. Yeah.
So that's why I don't think there's a match there.
Okay, that's see, this is awesome. I think this is going to turn into my favorite segment we've done all year because this is a legit discussion. I specifically did something that is a decent package, but also does not hurt outside of Crochet and maybe Montgomery to backfill Tim, or maybe even play second. Another
Tim's going to be your second baseman eventually.
Yeah,
we'll
but yeah, so yeah.
This is where
someone like the San Francisco Giants, my other team, have the farm system and the players to do this because they're in a higher rated farm system bracket too.
I just think there's probably 6 or 7 teams that can give a better package that they'd be willing to feel the pain for. I don't think you'd be willing to feel that pain. Like I just said,
because I think some of the pain you're suggesting, we can't sustain it really.
Exactly. The number one I think I'm ripping this off, but I also thought this too was team that's in very similar situation as you in their winning window.
The Blue Jays?
Well, I'm going to go with the Padres.
Oh, right. True. Well, what are they going to do? I mean, they've already given up so much.
They've given up the kind of the middle tier of their system. They still have the top tier of their farm system there, and they are 100% in on winning now. So that's a game changer if they get Juan Soto, and I think they're willing to I don't have the pieces in mind, but we've seen how aggressive they've been over the last
They're
2
very
years anyway.
aggressive. I mean, they just sign people that are because they feel depth, and I agree with them. Depth is a way to win and sustain injuries. So
and they've got potentially the best team in baseball, one of, and the Dodgers right ahead of them in the division. So they're in a unique position where they have to do something big, I think, to get them over the top. So
yeah,
I guess that's why I wanted to pour. I put the wet blanket. I poured some water
no,
on your idea, but
yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't disagree with anything you said. You would think that they definitely want someone of current caliber to say, "Holy shit." Well, we got rid of Juan Soto, but we just got Eloy Jimenez and Andrew Vaughn back over here.
They are restarting their franchise, and I don't think you do that with Sheets and Berger. I mean, no offense to those guys, but that's not what Rizzo is looking for.
Hey, Sheets and Berger, I don't feel the same way as Smitty. I think you're worthy to go for Juan Soto.
Weren't we trying to get Jake Berger on the podcast last week, and now I just subverted that whole thing.
So well, I don't know. I mean, again, the Sox are going to make something. Probably, obviously, not this, but like a lot of the guys I mentioned here, outside of Berger and Sheets, are guys that are probably going to be part of a trade, though. Mainly because they don't have anywhere to play them as the team gets healthy.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up, because I think this whole discussion is kind of moot, because I don't think you need a right fielder nearly as much as you need another starting pitcher. I mean,
maybe. Well, that's what we're going to find out in. We've seen what Lance 3 starts from Lance Lynn.
You have 2 starts before the trade deadline of Lance Lynn.
Yeah,
we know we've seen a decline a bit, and we remarked on it with Michael Kopech, and we know his innings are going to have to be limited at some point.
Yeah,
so we knew from the beginning of the season you were going to need.
Although Kopech was hitting 97 again in his last outing, so
he got through 5 innings, but I mean, you're not going to be able to lean on him for 150 innings this year.
Or maybe that's the cap, probably.
Well, and then he doesn't pitch at all in the playoffs if you make the playoffs. So it's just obvious to me that you guys need another starting pitcher. Everyone.
We're making the playoffs. Pitching. We're in this goddamn thing.
Well, I'm just saying your trade resources, whatever you have, are going to be
might go to a starting pitcher. Yeah,
I think that's a better way, and you wouldn't have to. It's going to be a little bit painful, but not Juan Soto.
Word Hole Media.